It's time to take off your clothes, enjoy clothes-free living, and join us for Naked, Nudists, and Naturists.
Welcome to Naked, Nudists, and Naturists, the show that celebrates clothes-free living for all. I'm your host, Frank Stone.
And I'm your correspondent, Lisa Monroe, and I'll be reporting on all things within the naturist community. So it's time to get naked and join us.
And enjoy clothes-free living on Naked, Nudists, and Naturists. Well, greetings and welcome into Naked, Nudists, and Naturists, episode 192 today. We are really glad that you're with us on this Wednesday extravaganza. Frank, Lisa, Frank, our 42nd straight Wednesday. Now, I said the same thing last week, didn't I? Well, that's because I messed up on the chart. Last week was 41. Today is the 42nd straight Wednesday we've come to you with a brand new show. When we originally started, as you know, back on July 30th of 2025, we said we would give you a brand new show on most Wednesdays. Well, we fooled ourselves and fooled the world, I guess. We've come to you every single Wednesday. Not the original plan, but it kind of sort of evolved organically. And here we are, episode 42 of Wednesdays, but 192 altogether. We are glad that you're with us, ready to enjoy clothes-free living for all of the right reasons. And on today's show, Lisa and I will talk about sports, specifically naked sports, maybe some sports we've played in the nude before. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about our upcoming 200th show, and we'll get a little more specific about that today. We will talk about a third show that we are looking to add, a little more information about that today, and we give you information as it becomes available, and we'll give you some information on that today. Against our better judgment, we will have in Bob, Hank, and André. They will come in and reminisce, and we will play a song that they sang on episode 100, Turn on Your Heart Light by Neil Diamond, but they changed the lyrics to I Want to Be Clothes Free, so we'll talk to them a little bit and then replay that song. They won't sing live in the studio, thank goodness, at least not today. We'll just play when they sang on episode 100. And apparently they're bringing in some jokes, too, on naturism, nudism, clothes-free living for all the right reasons. So we are ready to have a good time and a fun time to be had by all. So come on in. The pool feels great. We went swimming for a little bit this morning. I'm looking forward to a little more after the show today. It feels great. The hot tub is dialed up to about 100 degrees. If that's too hot, just let us know. We can turn it down. The grill is going full bore. And looking over the grill from the studio here, Bob, Hank, and André are out there, and I'm not sure if I'm going to partake of whatever they produce, but at least they're out there giving it the old college try. We have fruits and vegetables off to the right, cold drinks off to the left, hot drinks inside, coffee, tea, espresso. Remember that machine was donated by a listener. If you leave the pool area, you head out the left door, you will find a hammock awaiting for you. If you need a nap, need to get away for a few minutes, just kind of clear your mind and relax, that's the place to go. And while you're on the hammock, there's a little naturist fiction library right there. Just grab a book and start reading if you want to. You can bring it back in the pool area too. In the dead back of the pool area, outside the pool, we have some putty greens for you, donated. We have some bocce ball action off to the right. And when you come back in the pool area, in the back left corner, we have that cigar bar waiting for you. We have extra chairs, extra lotion, extra towels. So really, if you're thinking, I forgot to bring anything to this little extravaganza, that's totally fine. You don't need to. We have provided everything for you. The only thing you have to do, this is the part you have to do, you just show up. You just show up and you just come on in and say, hey, I'm here, and we will welcome you with open arms. And you can partake in anything that is available here because that's what it's all about. Naturism, clothes-free living for all the right reasons, living as we were intended to live. And while that sounds a little funny when you say, well, if God wanted us to be naked, he would have had us born that way. If you take a moment, you realize, my gosh, it's true. We actually were born naked. Must be a reason for that, would you think? So we embrace it. We know that you embrace it too, and we are glad that you are here today on episode 192. Well, I don't know about you, but over the last few moments here, it sounded like there's some music under my voice. Let me stop talking for a moment and let's listen together. Tell me if you hear the music. Oh, yes, I hear it. I'm sure that you hear it too. As you know, that can only mean one thing. It's time for the great, the terrific, the one-of-a-kind, the completely clothes-free and fully smiling, our Naturism correspondent, Lisa Monroe. And here she is, the one and only, the one-of-a-kind, the completely clothes-free and fully smiling, our Naturism correspondent, Lisa Monroe. Good morning, Lisa. How are you today?
Good morning, Frank. I'm doing absolutely fabulous.
All right. You've been outside a whole bunch, I hope, soaking in the vitamin D?
Yes. And how about you? Have you been? I thought you had been.
Actually, quite a bit, but much of it with some clothes on because I'm working out in the part of the yard where I can definitely be seen. So until we get to the point where everybody realizes this is normal, I'll have something on. Not a whole lot, but I could walk down the street in what I wear. So it's not a lot, but it's enough, I guess, to keep me home and not being carted away, if that makes any sense.
So you're saying it's Frank in a Speedo? Is that what you're telling me?
No, I don't go that far. The bottom would be like a pair of gym shorts and probably not a shirt, although there are times I put one on because you just don't want to be out there exposed to the Florida sun for 8 hours, with your bare back and chest and stomach, because then you'll have other issues. So I go back and forth, but if somebody were to walk in or see me, if I'm in the front, they wouldn't give it a second thought. Like, oh my gosh, it wouldn't be any response like that. So until we get this squared away and people learn that this is normal and expected and intended,
yes,
we have to play that little game. So
yes, we do.
How about yourself? Naked as a jaybird outside, or what's going on?
Absolutely. The yard work is important. Pool time is important. Just the sun is important. And so and Jennifer and I took a little trip to Miami a few days ago, and what do girls do? We stopped by Hallover. I can't say that we ever left Miami-Dade County without going to Hallover. So that was fun. So yeah, we definitely got some good naked time in.
Oh, very good. How long were you physically at the beach?
Just a couple hours.
Okay.
Not very long because we had to get back here, and that's a little bit of a haul. So from Hallover, but we did enjoy it. We went to lunch, and then we picked up some equipment. We went to lunch, and then we went to the Hallover, and then we came back.
All right. Well, that's not bad at all. I met a lady last week who apparently, I don't want to say lives behind me, but lives in a home behind me and then a few houses down.
Okay.
So the way the neighborhoods are structured, I would never see this person.
Okay.
From my backyard. It's far enough away and there are enough trees and other obstacles. I didn't even know anybody who lived there. I knew there was a house there, but no idea who. Well, there was an issue, which I won't get into, as far as herself and one of her pets, and that's how I ended up meeting her. She was calling for a pet, and I thought, well, it must be somebody I know. When I go back there, it's this lady I've never seen before. And I said, excuse me, do you live here? And she goes, oh, yeah, okay. So we started talking. But she was wearing a bathing suit with kind of like gym shorts or whatever on the bottom. And I said, it looks like you've been swimming. She goes, oh, yeah. Because she said, what I like to do is I like to work in the yard. But then when I get too hot, I jump in the pool. And I wanted to say, with a bathing suit on? But I didn't, I just met her. I thought, yeah, Frank, you better not, because
smart man.
Who knows who you're dealing with here? It could be a plant. She could have been one of those. Try to get Frank talking about being naked, and then we'll rush in and arrest him. Just kidding. You never know these days. But
talking about it, the last time I heard wasn't really the issue if you're talking about naturism, but you never know how people will behave.
Yeah, I think she would have been okay, but it strikes me as strange that anybody in the state of Florida would go into a swimming pool with a bathing suit on.
No.
That's just, I thought, Before I moved to Florida, I thought everybody swam naked, but apparently not. We'll
Yeah,
just make do.
no, you would think they would, and especially if they have a private backyard pool, but put yourself some privacy up and enjoy the pool the way it should be enjoyed and not have to, you know, hang bathing suits out to dry. It's ridiculous.
We will call it clothes-free swimming for all the right reasons.
There you go. We have a new slogan. What can Well, let's get Anna on that. They can just start going for clothes-free swimming for all. That'll work.
Oh, yeah. Well, I think they're already fully behind that without
Yeah.
question. But it did strike me as odd. And that is one of the advantages to having a pool down here because I do the same thing. You get hot, you get overheated, and you just jump in the pool and you get out and you dry off and you go back to work. And that does help. So it extends the work day for me, if that makes sense.
It does make sense.
All right.
And I have done the same, unfortunately, but I'm not in a position where I could be naked. So I do understand.
Okay. Well, we got a few emails. I made a comment recently that I probably, maybe definitely will not be playing middle linebacker for the Chicago Bears this coming fall because I don't weigh 300 pounds and I'm not 6'5", and I don't have any skill to play linebacker and so on. So the list goes on, reasons why I won't be doing that because I would be, after one play, I'd be carted off and you'd never see me again. So try to be a little smarter as I get older. But then you talked about football a little, asked me if I ever played at all. And I said, yeah, a little bit, but it was always, backyard or in the street or in the playground. I was never on an actual team. And so a few people said, well, when you played football, did you play naked football? And it got me to thinking, actually we did a few times. I had a relative who owned a farm, and when everybody gathered there, like once a year or so, yeah, clothes come off, we'd be playing touch football. Out in the field there, but for the most part, no, it was in the street. We played at the church playground, so we had to have clothes on. But it also led me to think about all of the sports that either I've played or you've played, just in general, and then also if we played any naked versions of those games at some point. Obviously you can't just go, if you're in Little League, you can't just play naked baseball. That'd be ridiculous. But you could play naked baseball in the backyard, which I did. Not every day, but often. And so I played mostly baseball, basketball, hockey, and later on, because apparently I lost a few brain cells after I got to college, I decided to play rugby.
Oh, I love rugby.
Yeah, not very bright on my part to play. That's basically wrestling, boxing, football, hockey, with no rules whatsoever. Just try to kill everybody on the other team, and you win.
Yes.
Basically, I think is the entire rule book for rugby. At least it seems like it. How about yourself? I know you didn't play a lot of sports, but you were active in dance or whatever.
Yeah, I was active from the time I was about 5. Actually, I entered ballet class when I was 5 and baton class when I was 6, and pretty much took them all through my high school years. I mean, all the way through up to my high school years, and actually dance in college, but there were reasons I just couldn't stay with it. But but I was never, gym class was as close as I ever got to any organized sports. And I have to be honest, that was not an outlet for me. That wasn't how I enjoyed being physical. The dance part and baton was more what I was interested in. So, I played only sports that came through gym class and, field hockey and that kind of thing. So we did track, we did all that. I was never really fond of it. I don't know why, because I like being active, but it was just part of it, I think, especially in high school, was that our teacher, let's just say, she would have made Jimmy McEnroe look like a real saint. She was not a nice person.
Oh.
And if you deviated from the exact movement, or you missed a ball, or you did anything, she was in your face screaming. And I just finally, one day she did it to me, and I was a pretty independent high school kid. I just kind of walked away. And she wasn't real happy about that, but I didn't really care at that point in time. If they wanted to throw me out of gym, I was more than happy for it. But that didn't happen either. But yeah, so it was not a great experience for me either.
You were an independent person as a high school kid. That is shocking to me based on what I know about you now.
I know. It's really kind of a crazy thing, isn't it? No, what, me?
Yeah.
Be that way? Yeah. But, but I did enjoy it. I mean,
Yeah.
you'll have to laugh because, I am also not, let's just say, basketball uh, prepared height
Mm,
wise.
okay.
But I was a pretty good guard, because we played you played guard on one end of the court and forward on the other. So we never left our position in the way we played it. And I was a pretty darn good guard. I could guard people really well. I could whack the ball out of them, you know, but that was never, a great shooter or anything. Well, we had to do layups for our grade. When you're not very tall and you're not very athletically inclined in that way, you're not sure you're going to make it. And this again was with the bad teacher. So I
Mhm.
thought, I am going to make that layup, by golly.
Hey, and did you?
And I did.
All right.
Except I came down so hard on my knee that I couldn't walk for like a week.
Oh.
So badly bruised knee, but I got the bloody layup and I was a happy camper. Only B I got in high school,
Oh no, that's a
gym
killer.
class.
Especially, yeah, it's one thing because you were heavily into science. If you get a B in chemistry, that'd be
Yeah,
devastating. But
yeah,
to get a B in gym when that wasn't even your thing,
yeah.
I don't know, how did they grade you? Was it not? Because I know some gym teachers, they'll take a kid who, even in college, I know this personally because it's happened to people. They had absolutely zero athletic skill. At least it never been developed, and they were useless as a $3 bill. In particular, this one guy told me in racquetball, he had never held a racket in his life. He shows up and had no idea. He like missed the ball half the time, even in easy shots. And he ended up getting an A because the
Wow.
teacher said from the first day of class until the end, you improved quite a bit. Now, he still wasn't worth a darn, but he was graded on progress as opposed to reaching a certain bar. Does that seem a more fair way to do it for a gym class?
I think it probably would be. And, at in my situation, the way our grades were set up, the B didn't really hurt me that much because it came in my early in my high school time, because I think we only did it in sophomore year. And unfortunately, I didn't have to play sports after that. I was still taking, baton lessons, and I was still taking dance lessons, but it didn't so hurt too bad. But, it was frustrating because I did try. I participated every single day and I did try. And, but then again, this teacher was really hard on everyone because she wanted the athletes out there. And just in a side note, the year after I graduated, she was removed from her position for having a relationship with one of her adult staff members.
Oh
So,
my goodness! Yeah,
so that just kind of tells you the quality and level of the
yeah,
person that we were dealing with to begin with. And she just, yeah, I think she was a frustrated, probably Billie Jean King, who
yeah.
never became famous because she was a tennis player. And I think she just was bad. So my experience was not great. Yours was fabulous. You had, an amazing career in as a kid and in high school. So,
Well, a couple of things. I remember in elementary school, we had a gym teacher. You had gym once a week, or I don't even know what it
mhm.
was. And I was, this is going to sound like arrogant and pompous, and that's not the case, but I was really good at sports as a kid.
Yes, you were.
And my dad encouraged me quite a bit. And so I got more training and more practice than the average kid. So I was just better than everybody else. I'll just say it flat out and don't write any emails or send cards or hate letters. I was just really good. Eventually, people caught up to me and I became less good. So that there's the ending of the story. So that should make some people happy. But I was really good. And I went to this gym class, and the gym teacher apparently noticed, like, okay, this kid is better than everybody else. And so we played floor hockey, and he gave everybody a position. Obviously, the goalie stayed in the net. He said, if you play defense, you can only come up to this line, which is about a third of the way from the goal out. He said, I don't want you wandering beyond that line. If you play offense, you have to stay on this side of the half floor line.
Yeah.
He said, then I pick one player per team. You can go anywhere you want, do whatever you want to do. And he picked me as one of the guys. He said, Frank, wherever you want to go, wherever you want to roam, go get the puck, go guard somebody, whatever you want to do. And I thought, well, he must think I'm pretty good. Okay, so at some point he was teaching the class how to shoot the puck, a wrist shot, not a slap shot. In fact, we weren't allowed to do slap shots. So he said, here you do, you put the stick on the ice, in this case, the floor, and you flick the puck like this. And he flipped it about the length of the gym.
Wow.
Just to show off. I mean, this guy was, I'll tell you about him in a minute. That's what I'm getting to. And he flipped it all the way against the far wall. It hit a light switch and turned one of the lights off.
Oh my gosh.
I'm sure he didn't do that on purpose, but I was amazed. Like, first of all, that he shot it that far, just a wrist shot. It was, big Jim. And he said, by the way, I did it on purpose. I thought it was a little too bright in here. Now, even as a fourth grade kid, I knew he was kidding. So I thought, this guy kind of cool. It was my early days of knowing him. Well, I got home and I told my dad that story. And he said, well, that sounds pretty interesting. Sounds like the guy's an athlete and he has an interest in you, so pay attention to what he says. Yeah, okay. He said, by the way, what's his name? And I said, what his name was, Mr. I'll just say Smith. And I said, it was Mr. Smith. And he said, by any chance, is his first name Bill? And I said, yeah, it is. I saw the name on his door, Mr. Bill Smith. He goes, you have to be kidding. Bill Smith is your teacher? I said, well, yeah, that's his name. He said, do you know who Bill Smith is? I said, no, I've never heard of the guy. He's a new teacher at the school. He said, he is well known, if it's the same guy, as the greatest softball player to ever play in this greater metro area.
Wow.
I said, what? That guy? He goes, well, if it's Bill Smith, and it wasn't as common of a name as Smith, so I don't want to throw people off. And so sure enough, the next day or the next week, I went to gym class. I said, by any chance, do you play softball? And he looked at me, he goes, as a matter of fact, I do. He goes, how'd you know that? I said, well, my dad said he'd heard of you. He goes, well, I do play with, and he listed off like one of the big teams in the area.
Oh my gosh.
So I was getting gym class in fourth grade from a mega superstar athlete. So sometimes you just catch a break in life. Isn't that kind of nice?
Sometimes you do, and that is pretty nice. And well, I kind of had a similar situation with dance, in that when I started dance class as at 5, my instructor was a gentleman who had been with the New York City Ballet for many years, and then injured his Achilles tendon and couldn't dance anymore. His parents were from the same town that I was from, and so he came back and opened a ballet studio. So I had a former principal dancer of the New York City Ballet was teaching us ballet. So, sometimes you do get lucky, and you learn you learn from people who truly, truly understand the art that they're teaching, whether it's sports or dance.
Yeah, very much so. Now, did you ever do any dance or baton flipping in the nude? That's the big question people want to know.
Unfortunately, no. We won't talk about dance. It's not ballet, but we. Now that probably didn't sound right, did it? Let's just not go there. Anyway, I've done a few twist contests, and again, let's not go there.
Close on or close off for these twist contests?
Actually, one twist contest at a nude beach. So there you go.
All right. Well, don't forget the show that we're doing is Naked, Nudists, and Naturist. So when you get to the fact that you did some naked dancing, don't say, "Oh, I don't want to go there." No, we're supposed to go there.
Yes, we are.
Yes, we
are. No, actually, there was a small little gathering, and it was actually when I was living on the west coast of Florida, and it wasn't really a nude beach contest. It was a private house, and it was a big party, and they had a twist contest, and I won. But anyway.
Oh, all right. I don't think I've ever heard that story. Are there other nude dancing stories that you've been withholding from me?
No, other than, when you get a group of people together, there's music, people sometimes dance, but I mean, we know that, but it's, but nothing formal or intentional in that respect. So just the normal fun that naturists have.
Okay. Well, as for me, and I've mentioned this before, in the backyard, naked baseball, yes. Naked basketball, yes. Naked hockey, no, because it was wintertime. We had some level of intelligence back then. Not a lot, but we had enough to avoid that.
Some.
naked football a little bit. And I don't know. I was very fortunate to grow up where I did and with my parents' understanding and the neighborhood itself. It was like a nudist, naturist neighborhood.
It truly
Not by
was.
design. It's just like-minded people, and before you knew it, we're out there playing naked, and nobody had a problem with it. It wasn't even a thing that people discussed. But anyway, people wanted to know, so I thought
Yeah.
we'd bring them up today.
Yep.
Let's talk a little bit about this third show that we are developing. And today is May 13th. And as I'm looking at the schedule, just so we don't keep people in suspense too much, so they're tuning in every week. Is this the week? Is this the week? Is this
Yeah.
the week? With
I'm
so much
sh-
going on behind the scenes that we can't discuss right now, we might even be looking at, gosh, I hate to say these months, but July, August, or even September before we can get to the third show. But when we do, then we will pump it out fairly regularly, and you will forget the long wait that you had. But the thought is this, and I think we mentioned this before: the third show will air on Mondays,
Mhm.
and the primary focus of that show will be to play prior segments from previous shows. And right now, this is 192, so that's a whole lot of shows and prior segments we have in the till or in the bank here. And sometimes I'll even go back. We get so busy here, we kind of lose, or at least I lose my way sometimes for the greater good. And I'll go back and listen to a previous show, maybe episode 5 or 10 or 1 or 30. And I'll hear things that I didn't remember. I'm sure I was aware of at that time, but oh yeah, I forgot he said
Mhm.
that, or I forgot you and I did that. So to
Exactly.
go back and play some of those, and it won't be like a half-hour segment. It'll be 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever. And then you and I will have commentary before and after each clip, and maybe broadcast some news if something's going on that week in
Right.
the world of naturism. So just another way to get together with you as the listeners. We started Saturdays only, and now we've expanded to. It was supposed to be most Wednesdays. It's been every Wednesday. And today is our 42nd Wednesday in a row. And I said that last week, didn't I? I said
You
42nd
sure
last week. And
did.
it was my own fault. I put the, it's a long story, but I will take responsibility. It's my fault. The numbers in the chart were wrong. And I think we skipped one at some point in the chart. Again, it's a long story as to why, not
Yeah.
worth getting into. But last week was 41. This is 42. And then we'll look at adding Monday, and then you won't be able to. Well, right now people think they can't get enough of us. I just want to make sure they don't get too much of us, but I think this will be all right 3 days a week.
I think so too. And I was thinking about something. We get a lot of new people who find the show and then start out with show that they listen maybe to the current ones and then they go back and start listening from one and forward. We've had, I don't know how many messages from people saying, "Hey, I'm catching up and I'm listening every day. I'm on episode 22 or I'm on episode 97 or whatever." And but the fact is that once you've listened through all of those and you're caught up and you start to come back and just listen to the regular current shows, sometimes we do forget what was said or who was on. And I think this is a good way of bringing back some situations where we've had great guests who've had great comments and or so we've had something fun happen or and whatever, and also kind of reviewing that discussion a little bit and making sure that we don't forget some of the lessons that we've learned from naturists along the way.
Yeah, I think it'll be great. I'm looking forward to it. And people have been asking, can you do a third show? Because when we get done with Saturday, they have to wait all the way till Wednesday for another one, even though they used to have to wait all the way to the next Saturday. But people say, we're kind of getting spoiled here. We kind of like the Wednesday and then the Saturday, but that's still a long wait from Saturday to Wednesday. So we'll do that when the time is right.
Yeah.
And more people than usual have weighed in on this. We always get people weighing in on issues. This one has generated more responses behind the scenes, emails, direct messages, people warning us,
Yes.
don't do so much that you get burned out.
Right.
Trust me, that will never happen
No.
because we know how to plan and bob and weave and make things happen. That's why we're not doing it now. If we tried a third show right now, you and I might be, in the mental ward and doing no shows at all. So
Yeah.
we know we can't do it now.
Yeah.
But when we're able to, and that's when we'll do it. And don't worry about burning out here.
Yeah.
That's
We're
literally never been an issue in our
oh,
careers or lives.
no, we're not going to burn out, especially on naturism. That's something that's important to us. And you know, there's a difference between being busy and a difference, and then having distractions that you must attend to. So I think that's one of the reasons that we're just a little slow. And I get tickled because people do have don't burn out. You know, oh, we love the
Yeah.
show. Don't burn. Well, we really love the show. And then they go, oh, well, yeah, but don't burn out.
Yeah.
And so there's a kind of a give and take, sort of like, yeah, we want it, but hey, don't give it to us and then can't do it, sort of thing. So don't worry about that. We can do
Yeah,
it.
but then it's always ended with, but if you can do a third show,
Yeah,
that'd
if you
be
can
great.
do it, yeah.
So, this is a unique venture in which we are engaged here, and everybody knows it. This is 192. This has never happened in the world of naturism. My guess is that it will never happen again. It's just there's so much work that goes into this, and we're not lamenting or playing the "woe is me" card. We enjoy every second of it, but you have to be devoted, you have to be committed, and you have to have the time to do it. And most people do not, or I should say, most people don't take the time to do it. I always think you can find the time to do what's important to you, but not always. And we understand that. So that's not a criticism of anybody. So to have 192 with no signs of slowing down in sight, this will probably never happen again. So people want to make sure we don't go away. Like if you go away, who's going to do 192 again? Right. That's why we're not going away. And we will pick the right moment when the stuff behind the scenes is done. And we're not fully in control of the stuff behind the scenes. That's why we can't predict.
Yeah.
We have other people and elements and circles involved. And when everything lines up and the world is right again, we will get to show number 3. Last comments on that, Lisa?
No, I think we're looking forward to it, and I think it comes back to.
Hang on one second, if you would. While you're talking, I got to go. We have, against our better judgment, we have 3 people.
Oh boy!
We've invited, and they're out there. Let me go get them.
Okay.
And then say what you're going to say, and I'll be right back.
Okay. Very good. Okay. Well, while Frank's off getting guests, I think that what I really wanted to say is that this kind of comes back to what we've always said, that there needs to be content. People want content. And it's important that that we need it. We know you need it, and that's why it's so why we want to do this. So off we go into a third show at some point down the road.
That's right, and not that far in the future. So
nope,
we'll be with you. We'll keep you informed and posted. Okay, against our better judgment, we've brought 3 gentlemen into the studio today. Bob, Hank, and André. We're going to relive when they sang the song on the 100th show, Turn On Your Heart Light by Neil Diamond, but they changed the words to I Want to Be Clothes Free. Thankfully, I guess, Lisa, they're not going to physically sing in the studio today. We're just going to play the tape from when they did, but let's bring them to the show this morning. Again, against our better judgment. Bob, good morning, sir. How are you? Whoa, dude, man. Yeah, I'm... had a couple cups of coffee, so I feel like I'm lined up and in the game, man. All right. I don't know if that's good or bad. Is it good that Bob is coherent, or are we going to be in trouble here?
It's certainly different, so it's kind of fun to see. So I'm glad he's kind of with us today.
All right, that sounds good to me. Hank is here. Good morning, Hank.
Yeah, doggone some gun. Glad to be here. Pleased as punch, as I like to say. Naked as jaybirds. Ready to listen to ourselves sing. But don't forget, we got ourselves some jokes.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. Should we do the jokes, Lisa, now or after the song? Which is better?
I guess it doesn't really matter. It's when if they feel they're in the mood to tell jokes now, let them tell jokes now.
All right, Hank, does it matter to you?
Well, no, I like telling jokes. I like hearing myself sing, so it don't matter none to me.
All right, why don't we just save the jokes for the end? That way, we're sure to end on a happy note.
This is probably true,
as opposed to ending on the singing. Okay. André is here, flew in from France last night to be with us today. Good morning, André. How are you?
We're glad to be here. And yes, I flew in from France last night. My arms are tired, but I am ready to go.
Oh, geez. That's the oldest joke in the business. I don't even know what to say. Lisa, any comments on that?
No, but, sometimes the old jokes work, I guess, but or at least some people think they do. Anyway.
That's right. All right, so let's get to it. This is when you guys were on our 100th show, You did the song by Neil Diamond, Turn On Your Heart Light, but you changed the words to I Want to Be Clothes Free. So if you guys are okay with that, we'll just sit here for a few minutes and listen. Bob, you okay with that?
Yeah, I think we did a good job, man. And I'm ready whenever you are.
Okay, good. Hank, you ready?
Anytime you want to play me singing, I am locked and loaded and ready to go.
Jeez. All right.
Hank.
Andre, are you ready?
Oui, but what is this about playing a tape? I thought I was singing today.
No, I never said that.
That is true. Maybe I just assume people invite me and it's to hear me sing. But whatever you want to do, that is fine. Lisa, by the way, good to see you. I have not seen you in a long time. Are you feeling good these days?
Yes, I'm doing great, and it's good to see you again too, Andre.
Very good. Maybe all of us can go out to lunch later on. But if Bob, Hank, and Frank cannot make it, that works for me too. I will say no more. I do not wish to get in trouble around the studio.
Well, that's probably a very good idea, Andre.
All right, Andre, cool your jets there. Let's get to it. This is a recording of when Bob, Hank, and Andre came to the studio back on May 24th of 2025, our 100th show, when they sang I Want to Be Clothes Free.
Take our clothes off. I want to enjoy the sun.
Cause sometimes the world ain't kind
To notice folks like you and me. I just made a friend, a naked friend is someone you need. But now that she had to go away,
I still feel the words
that
of
she might say, hey, want to be clothes free. Let it shine wherever you go. Let it make a happy glow for all the world to see. Want to be clothes free is the middle of a young man's dream. Don't wake me up too soon. Gonna take a naked ride to the beach. All clothes free. I'm looking for a home, 'cause everyone needs a naked place. As they know, the beach is the most excellent place of all.
and I'll be right here
If you should call me, want to be clothes free. Let it shine wherever you go. Let it make a happy glow for all the world to see. Want to be clothes free is the middle of a young man's dream. Don't wake me up too soon. Gonna take a naked ride to the beach. All clothes free. As they know, the beach is the most excellent place of all.
and I'll be right here
If you should call me, want to be clothes free. Let it shine wherever you go. Let it make a happy glow for all the world to see. Want to be clothes clothes free is the middle of a young man's dream. Don't wake me up too soon. Gonna take a naked ride to the beach. All clothes free. Let's take off our clothes right now. Let's take off our clothes right now.
And there we go. Bob, Hank, and Andre, when they were here for our 100th show, singing I Want to Be Clothes Free. Bob, terrific job.
Yeah, thanks. I just realized that rhyme, man. You said Bob, terrific job. You have to use that more often.
True. Hank, terrific job.
Yeah. And don't try to rhyme words with Hank, because you might end up with the word stank, and that would offend me.
We'd
Well,
never do that.
Yeah, we don't want people offended around here, for heaven's sakes. And Andre, thank you. A terrific job.
Ah, oui. Every time I show up, everybody tells me I did a terrific job. So thank you very much.
All right. Lisa, any comments before we hear their versions of jokes?
Well, it kind of did bring back memories for the marathon show that we did for our 100th show. So it was kind of fun to hear again and to know that that's never going to happen again this way.
That's right. Not only will 100 never happen again, but a 4-hour show will never happen again.
No, because I don't think I've recovered quite yet from that.
We're still in recovery mode. Absolutely. All right. So before we go and head for the hills and all that good stuff, you guys said you brought some jokes in. Bob, you want to go first?
Yeah. Last year, someone bought me a T-shirt that says, I'm a nudist. And yet, believe it or not, I still haven't worn it.
I guess that makes sense, right, Lisa?
That's pretty good. I like that.
Yeah, not bad. Hank, I'm afraid to ask this question, but do you have a joke about naturism, nudism, being naked?
Well, as long as you've known me, you have to ask if I have jokes like that.
Well, I'm just
That's
being
true.
professional and courteous. Yeah, that is true. What is your joke?
Yeah, my friend and I went to an all-you-can-eat restaurant at a nudist colony. It's called In the Buffet.
Jeez. As opposed to in the buffet.
Yeah, I'm glad you caught that joke. Otherwise, it would have been a lot of dead air.
Actually, that was pretty funny.
Yeah, not bad. Although we don't necessarily want to encourage them.
No,
We'll
this
be
is
here
probably
forever.
true.
And then we'll end up with a 4-hour show, just jokes back and forth.
No. Yeah, I do have more if you want them.
No, I think one per guy is what we agreed on, if you're okay with that.
Well, again, I'll tell more, but if that's what you want to do, that's fine.
All right. Andre, do you have a joke?
Oui. A friend asked me if I was ready to go to the nudist resort. I said, listen, my friend, I was born ready.
Well, that's true. We are born clothes free.
Yes, we are, and ready to go to the Nature's Resort and have fun.
Yeah. Hank, just for a minute, you said you went to an all-you-can-eat restaurant at a nudist colony. We try to not use the word colony.
Well, I know. I didn't make that joke up. I found it online, and I probably should have changed that to a nudist resort, nudist beach. I do apologize. But let's face it, in the buffet, I think that's doggone funny.
All right. Anyway, Bob, thank you for coming in, reliving your song and telling a joke. We'll see you next time.
Yeah, anytime, man. One of these days, maybe I'll actually get to sing in the studio again, just putting it out there, for consumption. Okay.
All right, Hank, thank you for coming in.
Yeah, same here. It's been a long some gun time since I sang a song here. I'm beginning to, get those insecure feelings again, and we don't want that.
No, we don't. At least, I don't know, you want to have them in soon to sing? Or
They're lobbying awfully hard to do that, aren't they? So perhaps maybe we should consider that at some point.
That's 2 out of 3, and I can only imagine, Andre, you probably feel the same way.
I was born naked. I was also born to sing, so I don't know what you are waiting for. But yes, whenever you are ready to have me sing, I will be glad to sing.
All right. Thank you, Andre, for coming in today. We'll see you next time.
Oui. I will fly back to France. My arms will be tired again, but by the weekend, I will be recovered.
All right.
All right. Take care, guys.
Yep. We'll see you guys later. All right, Lisa, let's get back to a sense of normalcy here, if that's even possible. Now that,
I don't think we've ever been normal.
well, that's true, too. That's true, too. But we're closer to normal now that they are gone, I'm thinking.
There's a level of sanity that has crept back into the studio. Let's just put it that way.
Okay. All right. Well, why don't we head for the hills? It's been episode 192. And if you promise to stay, and I mean this right down to the core, naked as a jaybird, no exceptions, no excuses, until Saturday. We'll get together on Saturday when Joe Rivas will be our guest for part one of his interview. He's running for the presidency of ANR. Looking forward to that. Is that a deal, naked as a jaybird, till Saturday?
It is a deal because I don't want to miss Joe's interview and a chance to see everybody, or at least to speak to everybody. Let's put it that way. So I'll be here and I'll be naked.
All right. Terrific. We will see you on Saturday morning.
All righty. Bye, everybody.
The very terrific Lisa Monroe as she goes dancing her way out of the studio. And she does a whole bunch around here. And in fact, she gave me a list of all the things that she does. Wanted me to read this off. First of all, I'm just kidding. She did not give me a list. But through the glass, I just got a look that would frighten most people. Thankfully, I think she is just kidding. I guess I'll find out after the show, and if you don't hear me on Saturday, you'll know that things didn't go well. But she does a whole bunch around here. Obviously, comes in to do these shows, interacts with me basically nonstop throughout the week. We text and communicate all of the time, planning these shows out. And why don't we do this? Why don't we do that? And why don't we not do that? And so on and so forth. She does our newsletter that goes to all of our PPPs, our paying Patreon peeps. She does the website all by herself, does the merchandise all by herself, and with her doing all of that, that frees me up to do the content, creative stuff in the background, the editing, the producing, the post-producing, the processing, and getting everything posted as needed. And, of course, Jennifer is in the background. One of these days we'll get her on the show here. You can actually meet her, or at least hear her. She's actually very intelligent, very well spoken, just doesn't want to come on the show. So maybe one of these days we'll figure that out, but she does a whole bunch as well, mostly handling the social media and inquiries and emails and all that good stuff. So we've put together a pretty good team here, and we enjoy working with each other, and we really enjoy coming to you for now every Wednesday and every Saturday, 6 o'clock a.m. Eastern Time on Spotify, as we like to say. But also in the not too distant future, we'll be coming to you on Mondays, and I hate to commit to every Monday right now, but let's just say most Mondays. I'm sure that will evolve into every Monday like everything else does around here. But we enjoy being with you, enjoy this time together, celebrating the joys of naturism, clothes-free living for all of the right reasons, as we call it here. It just frees everything up, literally. And this sounds like a joke too, but it's not. Literally, when you take your clothes off, everything gets stripped away. All of the nonsense, all of the hang-ups, all of the everything. And then it's just you. And it's just the other person or other people enjoying each other, enjoying your time with each other with all the nonsense stripped away. A whole bunch of nonsense in this world. I think we can agree on that. And naturism brings us closer together. At least that's what it's designed to do. And those who use it for all of the right reasons find out, yeah, it works. We are closer together. Those who use it for nefarious reasons, we don't even want to talk about them. They shouldn't be here to begin with. So we're glad you're with us. Glad you've been with us. Episode 192. And definitely come back in just a few days. On this coming Saturday, we will have episode 193, part one of my interview with Joe Rivas. He is running to be your president of the American Association for Nude Recreation, also known as ANR. He's running to be the ANR president for the next 2 years. So we'll have part one with Joe Rivas on this coming Saturday. And then we will have part two with Joe Rivas on Saturday of next week. There are two people running for president. We did invite the other one on, and we never got a response. And that person was on in February, but did not respond at all to come back on now to make a final case for election. But Joe Rivas did accept, and Joe Rivas is coming on next week and the week after. Well, we thank you again for being with us. We hope you enjoyed the time together with us as much as we have enjoyed it to you. And it's been episode 192. And yes, once again, come back this Saturday for episode 193. Well, you've been listening to Naked, Nudists, and Naturists, episode 192 today. We give you a brand new show every Saturday morning, 6 o'clock a.m. Eastern Time, and on most Wednesdays, 12 noon Eastern Time. Continue to join us. Check us out on our website, nakednudistandnaturist.com, Spotify, Google, Amazon/Audible, Apple Podcasts, and also on Twitter. You can write us anywhere, anytime, any place. And we thank you for being with us today. Plan to join us for every single one of our shows here and have your clothes off when you're listening. We have our clothes off when we're broadcasting, enjoying the naturist life.
We celebrate clothes-free living for all. Remember to enjoy being naked and join us again for Naked, Nudists, and Naturists.
We drop a brand new show every Saturday morning, so come back and join us. Have your clothes off when you do for Naked, Nudists, and Naturists. Have a great clothes-free day.